I have to tell you that the gold market is not a pleasant place to live. I mean, it does not make a whole lot of sense. I just cannot understand what's happening in the gold market. And I'm in this market so close. I mean, there's almost nobody closer, and it makes no sense to me. I just don't, because let me just tell you, okay. Yeah. The crypto market is about $2.5 trillion. And on this is a Bloomberg. So on this Bloomberg, every couple, I have a news feed all day. Every couple hours is an article that's really positive about crypto. Like some billionaire embraced crypto and bought a bunch of coins and is really bullish. Yeah. And then if gold goes down $5, there's a piece about how gold is just stupid and nobody wants it and it does nothing and it's going to zero. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It says on here this weekend that gold could go to zero. And then you have Petterfee, the Interactive Brokers chairman, who used to be very negative on Bitcoin. Remember, he wrote a hit piece on it in the Journal, rented a full page ad about how dangerous it was 4 years ago. Now, this weekend, he comes out, he says, everybody should have it. And the reason why you should have it is because it can protect you against like money failing. And also because it could go to 1 million and it could go to zero. Well, wait a second. That's called a speculation. As you know, a speculation is something that could go up tremendously or could go to zero. That's a speculation. So I'm telling you that it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, yet people aren't selling gold. There's 12 trillion worth of gold out there. There's only 2.5 trillion worth of crypto. What doesn't make sense? Okay, I want to understand. What doesn't make sense for you? The headlines or the fact that gold is not higher than where it's at right now, given everything that's happening? It's a combination. You would think that people would be looking around and saying something is not right. And I am going to buy something that can protect me. And then instead, what they're doing is they're buying a digital image of a rock with 2 laser eyes and paying like 50 grand for it. And they're like, this will protect me. I'm not kidding. I tried Roblox during the Christmas break. I don't know if you've done this before. And I'm walking around the Roblox world and the Decentraland, and I'm like, what is going on here? I mean, I have no idea. People are buying fictitious property in the metaverse with NFTs, and they're like, this is an asset.
But so according to my sources, people are buying gold. It's just they are buying. People are buying.
They are. There's not a lot of gold, and the reason why it's even more interesting is because the 12 trillion in gold, nobody is selling it either. Okay, so my point is, you have an article about gold could go to zero, and nobody's selling gold. Like none of the central banks are in size selling gold. The mining companies are producing less and less gold. Wednesday, I was supposed to speak at the National Coin Dealers Association, but they, of course, due to an abundance of caution with the cold virus, they canceled the entire event. Okay, but those guys are telling me that like demand is high, supply is not really there. Okay, and so it's there, but if the narrative is not there. Okay, so my point is, I think if people really knew what was happening to their money, they would be panicked and they would not be buying digital images of rocks or like a Tom Brady catch from 1997. They wouldn't be buying that. They would be buying an ounce of gold.
You know, I wasn't expecting to go there with you, but okay, if people are buying, people aren't selling, we're producing less gold. Yeah. This is not being reflected in the price right now. Yeah. Is the price still being manipulated?
Well, let's do this. Let's make some money, okay? Because as you know, I'm pragmatic. And so I don't sit around and pound sand all day about things that you can't control. Okay, so what do? All right, let's say the gold price this year catches a little bit of it doesn't look that bad, actually. It's like $1,800. I mean, I think it's on the upswing. So let's say it goes to 2,000 or 2,100. People say, well, that's not really very much. I mean, that's only like, 10, 15%. Like, what am I going to do with that? Good answer. Okay. There's not a lot you can do with that. And so the reality is a royalty company is the way that you capture huge upside in the stock when gold moves just a teeny tiny bit. So I do think this I do think what happens is that people wake up a little bit and the gold price moves into the low 2000s, and then people are really panicking for gold. And the royalty company is the way that people get that exposure. And as we've discussed before, that business is very interesting right now. There's an intense amount of M&A and takeovers. There was a hostile takeover attempt in December in one of the small companies. People are panicking in that company, trying to fend off this hostile attempt, and it doesn't get any press. So that's how you play it. That's the way to play it. It's not to buy, but I mean, you need some coins. Okay, don't get me wrong, but it's not like buy a bunch of coins and hope you make a fortune. That's not the way you play it.
When you hear talk of, the crash is coming, the stock market will have a massive correction, what goes on in your head?
I don't think that's going to happen. I think the stock market's going to just grind away. So I think we're entering a period of time like in the 60s where the stock market went nowhere. Like late 60s, early 70s, the stock market went nowhere for about 12 years. And if you stayed in the stock market, you were confused all the time because you would have a little rally and then you would come down and then you would have a little rally and you would come down. And it took from like late 60s until 1980, basically 82, for that to bust out into a new era. And that's what we're entering now. Because what's happened is that people have pulled the expectations of years and years and years of profits into today because the interest rates have been held down so low that you have people that have bought companies under the auspices of, well, they're going to make money 20 years from now, and we'll count that today in the stock price. So that's okay. But it doesn't mean the company's not real. What it means is that to earn out all that growth takes so long that the stock price just gets really sluggish and it just grinds sideways. Basically what happens is that you opened all your Christmas presents at the beginning of December, and now you have to wait it out and sit around. They're still your presents. There's not very much excitement. The average person needs to think about something like where I live. I have rental houses. Rent went up 33% last year where I live. A 2-bedroom apartment went up 33%. Okay. And the housing price, the single family housing price where I live went up 22%. Okay. Right. And the gold price went down. Okay. And the royalty companies went down 30% or better. And the stock market went up, 20% or more. Okay. So you had a lot of really strange tugging in different directions with assets. And so you have to look around. You have to say, well, wait a second. I mean, if I own a rental house and rents are rising at 33% a year, okay, that can't continue. Okay, that goes so much that then people, what are they going to pay? 100% of their income in rent? It's not possible. Like people just have to start cohabitating. All right. So then you have housing. Well, what's going to happen with housing? I mean, people are paying $2 million for a cardboard house, and they have no money down, and they feel rich. Okay, they really actually feel rich, and so you start looking around and you got to say, okay, look, if I have all this stuff that I'm caught up. I mean, people tell me things like, I saw a guy at the Whole Foods the other day I haven't seen in like 2 years. He's telling me all about his Tesla stock and all these different, and this guy's, I'm like thinking to myself, what are you doing? You're like a videographer or something. I mean, what are you spending all day managing your portfolio? This has become like a societal thing people do. And so as they need that money to live, that's where things change. Okay. I mean, there's the average guy with a Robinhood account that's got like a 1/10 of a share of Amazon or something and feels rich, needs that money if rent's going up at 33% a year. You see how this creates its own ending. And so once that happens, people sell wait a minute, it's going down. I didn't know it was going to go down. I got to sell it.
So would you not, so for someone who's looking at real estate in Florida, where you are right now, you'd be saying, I want to get in the game. It's hot. You would wait on the sidelines right now?
I would only buy it if you love it and if you want to live in it and you want to live in it for a long time because you really love it. That's why I would buy it. I would not buy it as a speculation. Look, the Miami Heat player Bosch sold his house on Miami Beach for $14 million. My sister lives down from that. She told me $14 million, and some crypto guy 6 months later bought it for $38 million. I mean, this is the type of thing that you see and you just say, like, the reason why it can't continue is because what is someone going to pay $100 million for the? Right. I mean, you could buy a skyscraper for $100 million in a deserted Midwestern town because everyone's leaving, right? So my point is that it gets so out of balance that it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, there are coins on, you go on the coin market cap, the crypto site, there are coins you've never heard of that are utterly useless, that have a market value bigger than Barrick Gold. Like, you could just buy the whole company for the price of some pizza coin. It doesn't make any sense.
Let's get your thoughts on, will 2022 be the year that we'll see regulation hitting this market?
So I actually, in my book, I wrote about how I think crypto came into existence, which I hope everyone read, because I spent a lot of time kind of trying to lay this out. As you know, Doug Casey and I coined the term FedCoin. We think that's how it's going to all end. And I actually truly believe that crypto was created to be, number one, a sweepstakes, okay? A sweepstakes distracts people. People are so excited about their crypto that they have on their wallet. They can't think of anything else. I know guys that are checking this, checking, and they'll at the cigar lounge I go to, they'll tell me, you ever heard of this? This is a tenth of a penny. If it goes to $1, I'll be as rich as, you know. I'm like, okay, well, good luck to you, right? I mean, this is a national obsession, and people are very, very distracted. Number two is it creates capital gains, okay? Some people are not claiming capital gains and they're avoiding taxes because it's chaotic. Some people are, but my point is people are trading these coins to each other. Remember Dogecoin? It went from nothing to 70 cents and then back to 15 cents or something. There's people all along the way that are buying and selling, and they're making money. They're spending that money. They're paying tax on that money. And number three, it gets everybody used to the idea that money can exist on the computer and on your phone and not in your hand. Okay, so crypto does those three things. And I think the powers that be don't care how big and how hot that market gets, is that ultimately when it ends in the introduction of FedCoin, and it's all over.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information, and it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where do you start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.